I'm going to try this again because it got too long. Went over 10 minutes, so I'm going to have to split the 3 stories into, I'll do the first one where I got shot first, and then I'll do the other 2 in another vlog. So again, I was in 6th grade. I was at a camp. I didn't really get shot. I just kind of used that as a teaser for you to watch more videos. But I will never beg people to subscribe. It's beneath me. Not really, but it's a principle of the matter. But I was in 6th grade. You go to 6th grade camp. You know, all the 6th grade classes do, and it's this little camp out in the middle of nowhere, of course. And I was taking a foil dinner making class. I don't know if you've ever done it. You just take some vegetables, some hamburger and stuff. You throw it in some foil, and you put it on some hot coals. Well, I'm standing there, and there's probably about 10 of us in the class, and I hear this bang, and I see this black streak come at me, and I jump, and it hits me in the inner thigh, not too far from some vital organs, if you know what I mean. And so I roll up my pant leg right away, and I see this dime-sized wound in my leg, and like it's pretty deep because I can see beneath the skin all that flesh and stuff down there. It's not cool, and I freak out because I'm just a little kid, and I freak out, and I just scream. I mean, they had to hear it throughout the whole camp. I just screamed top of my lungs, and this little man, I don't remember his name. It starts with a G, but this little man, the instructor, teacher of mine, picked me up and carried me up a steep hill to the nurse's office. And I get in the nurse's office, and I have to take my pants off. And yeah, I wore whitey tighties at the time, I'm a boxer man now. Not that you really needed or cared to know that, but it just kind of came out. So I'm laying there in my underwear, and the nurse looks at the wound, dresses the wound, and the bleeding kind of trails off, and but then the principal walks in, and some other teachers walk in, and it was very awkward for me. And plus, they told me I was going to be okay, but I wasn't hearing any of it. I was pretty sure I was going to die. So they were trying to decide what to do, and they finally came up with, because it wasn't really bleeding anymore, so they took me to the closest hospital. A teacher did, in her Cadillac, and she went there pretty quickly. I remember her going pretty fast, but they had lined her seat with gauze pads, and they gave me some paper towels to hold on there, and I wasn't bleeding that much, but I was still bleeding a little bit. And we got to the hospital, and they put me on a stretcher. And I'd put, like, shorts on or something. But they made me take them off, because I remember laying in the ER in my underwear, and my leg was going into shock, because I guess the lower half of my leg wasn't getting enough blood or something. And so they had to elevate it. I don't know, I'm not a doctor. But I just remember it started shaking, and so they had to elevate it while I was waiting on x-rays. So they sent me in the x-ray, and meanwhile, you know, my mom showed up, and she was just white as a ghost, which I can imagine, because, I mean, how would you feel if the school called you? I don't know if they told her that I've been shot or that I was injured. I mean, I would assume the proper way to do this would be, your son's okay, but he's had an accident. So I don't know how that phone call went, but she was white as could be when she came in. I felt so bad for her. And I was feeling better at this point, because I knew I probably wasn't going to die because I was in a hospital. But I was afraid I was going to have surgery on my leg, and they were going to have to dig in around there and pull the bullet out. So I don't know if you're familiar. Oh, what had hit me, you probably want to know. I totally skipped over that. What it was is it was a casing from a .22 was in the fire, and it had went off from the heat, and the casing hit my leg, and they didn't know if there was a bullet in there as well, because we found the casing in my pant leg. It had a little blood on it. So that's what hit me. I totally skipped over that. You probably wanted to know that. Anyways, now that I've caught you up to the story. So I'm in the hospital, and they take some x-rays. I remember the x-ray girl being really nice, and I was scared. I also didn't like being in my underwear again. With all those people around. But So they asked me if I wanted to look at the x-rays, and I did not, because I did not want to know. But they came over. I think my mom came over and told me that there was no bullet in there and that they didn't have to do anything more and that they were just going to, bandage it up and I'd be okay. And I'd go home. So that's what they did. And I got to put pants back on. It's the thing that sticks in my head the most, I guess, about this story is me being in my underwear around all those people. So yeah, and then a myth was created about me that I died, that I got shot and killed, that I've heard from, my little brothers, quite a bit younger than me, and I've had some friends that are younger than me, and I've heard stories that I died, which I love, and I will perpetuate that story. I think it's hilarious. But yeah, that's what happened. No, we didn't sue the school. It wasn't their fault. Why that bullet was in there, I have no idea. There was no gun range at that camp. I mean, it was, I don't know. I don't know how it got in there. It was a full unspent cartridge, so it's not like somebody was shooting at a tree and it was stuck in the tree, because it was a full unspent cartridge. Never found the bullet. I assume it either melted and stayed in the fire pit or went the other way and thankfully didn't hurt anybody. But, I mean, simple physics is the bullet's heavier than the shell casing, so the shell casing is the one that's going to move. And move it did. So, that's that story. It really sucked afterwards to have to dress that wound, and I got a nice scar, which I'm not going to show you. But that scar's not going away, really. It's this nice round scar. But it sucked having to dress that wound it was like twice a day. Had to put that antibacterial so you didn't get an infection and all that jazz. That really sucked, ripping that bandage on and off every single day for like 3 weeks. It was awful. And I remember, I used to have it in a little Rubbermaid container, and I took it in for show and tell because I remember my friends, I left a day early. This happened a day before the camp was over. My friends, I remember, came down. They're like, "Are you okay?" And I missed the martial arts thing that everybody wanted to see. Oh well. So yeah, that's that story, how I got shot at 6th grade camp. It's a favorite story of mine. So I have 2 more stories, but I'm going to put it in a different vlog because it's over 10 minutes long if I don't. So you should watch that one too. It's about wrecking a motorcycle and drowning. So you should watch it.